I'm here with National Master Craig Clawitter. Craig is a multi-talented chess player and coach and all-around enthusiast of chess. But how would you describe yourself, Craig, and your place in the chess community?
In the chess community, well, it's definitely shifted over the years. Where I started out, I think we're around the same age, actually. So I started out probably around the same time that you did. And back then, I started out a month before I was 15 in tournaments.
Okay, wow, that's late.
Yeah, that was, well, now that's late, but back then
now,
I was like, whoa, this up-and-coming kid. It was like 1,400, and that was like impressive back then.
Right.
But nowadays there's like, I don't know, 14-year-old GMs and stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I started out as a up-and-coming chess player in high school, and then, just really quickly, a chess company hired me to teach kids when I was only 16 years old, and I was like, I don't know if I'm qualified, but I like chess, so let's give it a shot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
At age 16?
I wasn't... Oh, go ahead.
At age 16, you said?
At age 16, yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know if that's
really young.
legal anymore, but yeah.
I mean, you can start working at age 16.
Yeah.
Depends on whatever regulations. No big deal. Also, there probably weren't any back then.
Yeah, it's very brand new back then.
Yeah. And then how would you describe what you do now, though?
So now I'm more of a coach. I do play in tournaments, like I was telling you before the interview. I play mostly at the San Diego Chess Club.
Right.
Like a few times a year.
Right.
I just really like the club, and now that I've got older and more obligations, I can't just play at every single tournament anymore.
Yeah, of course.
So now my tournaments are almost like vacations also. So it's like
chesscation.
I like San Diego, so it's like cool, I get to play chess, and the rest of the weekend I can be in San Diego.
Awesome. So yeah, let's go back to when you first learned chess. Did you learn chess early? I mean, I'm assuming you learned chess earlier than 15, right?
Oh yeah. I think that actually helped me out a lot, which is, I know you interviewed Elena, which is like kind of amazing that I think she said she started when she was like 24.
Yeah.
Like how to move the pieces even.
Yeah.
And I started when I was like 4, I think.
Oh, wow. Age 4.
Almost 5, basically.
Oh, 4 or 5, so, right. But still, that's pretty early.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as masters and higher ranked players, that's about average, right?
Yeah, somewhere between like 4 and 8.
What are one of your first memories from learning chess? Do you have any memories?
Oh yeah, a bunch. Where at first my dad taught me how to play chess, and he would just smash me. At first, he was very much he would not let me win for sure.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, which I hated at first, but luckily he wasn't very good. So by the time I was like 5.5 years old, I could beat him.
Nice.
And that was partially the reason I stopped playing chess, actually, was I beat my dad, so I'm just like, well, that was chess, cool.
So I'm curious though, did I mean, some kids, if they lost so badly to their dad a few times, they probably would quit. Did that begin your competitive spirit in some way, or?
Yeah, probably actually, because I hadn't started playing sports yet. Because I was too young to play sports.
Right.
And yeah, it's just always been that way where some people get discouraged when they lose, but for me, it just makes me angry and want to get better so I can beat them.
Yeah.
Whatever they just beat me at.
Oh, that's great. It's interesting you mentioned sports. What sports did you play?
I played everything except for hockey, basically.
Oh wow! So yeah, I haven't talked to many of my guests about this. We can talk about it real quick first. is there a crossover between chess and the sports that you played?
Some of them for sure, and I mean all of them, of course, are a little bit close to chess because they're all competitive games.
Right.
And actually, I did learn a lot of. So in chess, I teach my students this too. Is like you gotta one move, the exact move can be the best move in a position.
Yeah.
But if the situation is different, all of a sudden that move is like too risky or maybe a bad move, right?
Right.
And it all depends on like what's going on, like who's winning, who has the worst end game,
right?
That kind of thing.
So situational awareness, right?
Yeah, and sports really taught me that because every sport I played had like a clock, or like baseball doesn't have a clock, but you have a finite amount of time to come back and win the game.
Yeah, and there's times when you steal a base or when you don't steal a base, things like that.
Yeah, like bunt or whatever.
Yeah, or I could see there's a definite crossover between chess. I am curious, did you ever think, or do you think it helps your visualization in sports? Being able to see, visualize what's going to happen next in the plays? I'm curious if chess helps with that at all.
Yeah, well, so the reason I got into chess tournaments at least, when I was almost 15, like we talked about, was I got injured playing basketball.
Oh, cool.
And then,
not cool, but cool that you got chess.
It wasn't cool at the time, but it was actually like a lucky break, I guess.
Wait, tell me the injury first.
Okay, so I like dislocated my knee and kind of a...
Ouch!
Yeah.
So
I was grabbing a rebound in basketball, and this guy, like, I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but he like kicked me directly in the knee.
Oh man!
Yeah, it was not fun.
Oh, that's terrible. So then you couldn't walk, basically, right?
Actually, it's kind of funny. They told me to walk to the nurse office after that.
What? Wow. Yeah. You can tell this is a different generation. I mean, it's not like boomers, but like you're millennial, just to be clear, right?
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
Yeah. They still told you to walk to the nurse's office.
Yeah. So they like coaxed my knee back into its socket, and they're like, "All right, you're good to go."
Oh my gosh, that's so terrible.
And then I almost passed out on the way to the nurse's office, but luckily my this girl I knew was like gonna be a physical therapist maybe.
Oh wow.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, you should not be walking right now." So she like helped me over there.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
And so then you started playing chess. How did that happen? Through the injury?
So I was like so I had a choice. I could either get surgery and then I could come back faster, or I could just do physical therapy.
Yeah.
But it would take like a year or a year and a half even to like fully recover. So right. I chose to do the physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant I was like out of commission for like a year.
Wow. So what a crazy way to discover chess. And then where did you start playing? Did you use books or did you play online or?
I did play online a little bit. Like back then it was like Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo Chess, yeah.
Yeah. So I played on that, but it was pretty bad. And finally somebody told me about, I went to a chess club like 2 or 3 years before this even happened.
Okay.
And nobody told me about chess tournaments.
Wow.
And then finally I was telling them like, oh, I'm getting more into chess now that I got injured. And they're like, hey, you should play in this tournament that's like next Saturday, like 10 minutes from your house.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Where was this whole time?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you'd gone to the chess club already.
Yeah.
And so you've been playing chess basically casually before that,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then the first tournament, though, they told you to go. How did that experience go?
Actually, pretty well. I thought it was going to be like super easy from there.
Oh, so did you win?
I got 2 out of 3,
Wow. Okay.
and I should have definitely got 3 out of 3. But the first game, I wasn't used to clocks,
Oh.
so I played like a game 75 in like less than 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
and then I learned my lesson from there.
Right. And where is this, by the way? What city was this in?
It's in Costa Mesa, which is a city in Orange County.
Orange County, California. Okay.
Yeah.
So SoCal, Southern
Yeah,
California. So that's pretty interesting. What was chess like at that time? This is like early 2000s, I'm guessing, early mid 2000s.
Yep.
What was chess like? How was chess seen in the high schools at the time? Like by your peers?
Not very cool.
No.
I didn't tell any of my friends that. I mean, they knew I played chess, but that was about it. I didn't even tell them that I was a pretty good chess tournament player.
Oh, that's hilarious! Wow.
Because I was so afraid that they would be like, "Oh my gosh,
Right,
Craig
right.
used to be this basketball player, now he's a huge story."
So all the sports bros, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then what's funny is later, like, they would have been like, "Yeah, we would have thought that was cool, dude. Why didn't you just?
Oh, that's so funny.
Why didn't you just tell us?"
That's so funny. You hit it. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, they might be saying that in hindsight, though. Now that chess is actually cool.
No, well, I mean, this was like 2 years after I finally did
okay,
tell them,
yeah.
which was like a few years after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Because once I became an expert, I was like, oh yeah, and I represented Southern California in the Denker High School Championships.
Ooh, we'll have to talk about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I knew that, but I would definitely want to talk about that. But let's finish a little bit with the high school chess first.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny that like I haven't heard many people say they like hid their chess playing.
Oh really? Yeah, I definitely did. Like,
Wait, what would you tell people
were
you were doing then?
I was just out of town, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm just out of town, guys.
Yeah.
Wow, you're
Like, oh,
Craig
going
takes
on
a
a
lot of
family trip.
vacations.
Exactly. Yeah, his family goes on all these trips.
Oh, that's super funny. Wow, that's interesting. And so, you played that first tournament, and then how did the tournament start to go after that?
So I played in that first tournament, and then I did pretty well. My rating got up to like 1400 or something.
Right.
And I was like, all right, this is so easy. And like even before the tournament started, I like beat an expert in a casual game.
Oh wow!
But I don't know if they were trying that hard. It was just like before the tournament.
Yeah.
So I was just like, cool. I'm probably like 2000. And then my second tournament was so bad.
Yeah.
I think I lost to the lowest rated player I've ever lost to.
Wow.
I think they were like 300.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they were like a 300. I'm sure they're probably better now. They were like a kid.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Back then. Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
But yeah, so after that, I was like, oh, okay, it's not going to be as easy as I thought.
Okay, yeah, but earlier you said that you take defeat and it actually drives you, it makes you angry, it pushes you forward, you want to play. Mm-hmm. So, okay, you have your amazing experience and then terrible experience, and then how did that drive you to continue playing and learning?
Oh, then after that, that's when I started going to this like weekly chess group, which was the one that also taught kids after school.
Okay, cool.
And that was like 20 years ago.
Right.
To date myself. Sure. And that's how I got into teaching chess, and then also getting better because we would all play at this Thursday night.
Wait, so
USCF game.
Was the after school program run by like a master or anything?
No, they're actually really bad at chess.
Oh,
they
wow.
just really like chess. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because I was wondering if you learned more through that, or where did you start seeing your growth in your chess ability? Or how?
Just that, like, definitely I got a really solid base from that first year. I was studying a lot because, like I said, I was either studying chess or doing physical therapy for like.
Well, were you studying books or were you studying? How are you studying?
Yeah, from books.
Oh, okay.
Like,
What do you remember?
I had a lot of books.
Remember any of the books you read then?
Yeah, there was the Play Winning Chess series by Yasser Seirawan was really good.
Yeah, that's a really big series. Yeah,
especially I like the tactics and the end games. Those ones were really, really good. And the strategies were pretty good.
Yeah.
So those ones helps. And then I basically just read every single book I could get a hold of.
Can you estimate how many you read?
Well, for one thing, I don't think I've ever read a book the whole way through.
Right, well, okay. Well, how many did you, own, I guess?
Read through?
Probably
like 70 or something.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's really hard to read a chess book cover to cover.
Yeah.
Because most chess books are almost reference. I mean, some are designed to read cover to cover, but a lot are reference. That's interesting. You're pulling all these different pieces together from different authors and things like that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I actually got my opening knowledge at first from Eric Schiller.
Oh, interesting. That's fun.
And then, so just like those books, and then, what's nice, I mean, there's way better things to do now on computers, probably.
Sure.
But the nice part is it really helps my, visualization skills to do it from a book.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because, I got really tedious, playing it out on a board and,
right.
going back to the original position if you're, playing out a variation or something.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that, how books impact visualization. That's a really good point, Craig.
So it really gave me the incentive to be like, all right, can I at least do the variations in my head? And then that way I don't have to, do it on the board, reset up the position.
So this is kind of interesting because I haven't talked about this with many of my guests either. Reading chess it's like you're reading another language. Obviously, it's written in English script, but you can read a full game in a book, right?
In my head.
Yeah, so you just read it though, and you see it in your head, right? Or how does it work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe explain how it works a little bit.
It's kind of like reading. You know how in reading you when you first learn how to read, you can't read anything, and then it's not oh, now I can read a little bit. It's more boom, now I can just read everything.
Yeah, and so then I guess what I'm trying to get to is what is the process like for someone who doesn't know how to read chess books? Are you seeing the game in your head as you're reading it?
Yeah, so it's visualized in I have the whole board in my head now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I had back then, but
right.
Just by doing it over and over again, I would do it. At first, I would do it in my head, and then test it out by playing it on the board and seeing if what I saw in my head was actually what was going on.
That's cool. Yeah,
that makes sense. Gradually, I didn't have to do at one point I was just oh cool, I can just visualize pretty well now.
Right. And I mean, a lot of books have diagrams, right, that kind of keep you on track.
Yeah, exactly.
So you read 10, 12 moves and then there's a diagram.
And there's a diagram right there.
Right.
So you can also test yourself out that way too.
Right. Well, that's pretty interesting. Because I don't think the average, even average beginner or enthusiast knows what it's like to really read chess books, or even read chess notation, just generally.
In your head, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really hadn't thought about it because it's second nature for chess players, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it takes... So, yeah, that's another thing is a lot of my students get discouraged because at first it's just like you said, it's a whole new language.
Right,
almost.
Right.
But I really stress, just keep on doing it, and then one day you'll see, it's really annoying. It's not gradual, so it's just gonna one day you're just gonna be able to do it.
It'll just click. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and obviously, like the number of characters you have to learn is so small. I mean, you just have to know some symbols, and there's like 10, 12 symbols max. You have to know, and the rest is just reading.
Exactly. Yeah.
The visualization is the hardest part, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because then yeah, that's what I was talking about with like it comes just randomly.
Right.
If you keep it up, but if you quit, then obviously it'll never come.
Right. It's just a muscle you have to practice. Okay, let's move on to Denker. So the Denker Tournament of High School Champions. How did you qualify?
So I actually came in second second on tie breaks in the high school championships for Southern California.
Oh man!
So I was like all bummed out that I didn't get first, and there was kind of a controversy with the game I had with the guy that did get first.
Oh, what was the controversy?
Him and his friend were like looking. My mom was there because she had to drive me.
Right.
And she saw them like looking at a position on a board while our game was going on.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane controversy. That's just cheating.
I don't know because she doesn't know how to play chess, so it wasn't like.
Oh, she doesn't know if it was your game.
Yeah,
of course.
It could have been some random position for all she knew.
Yeah, they probably were just bored and they could just look at something else. Yeah.
I hope so, but yeah.
Oh, you don't know. I guess that's the tough part.
I'll never know.
Wow, how did that resolve?
My mom told the tournament director, and the tournament director said like, get back to your game, basically.
Oh, okay.
And then don't look at positions anymore, obviously.
And did you lose that game?
No, I ended up drawing from a better position.
Oh.
So yeah, if I would have won, I obviously would have got clear first. But then it turns out that person couldn't play in the Denker anyways. They had some like scheduling conflict.
There you go.
So I got
vindicated.
Yeah, so it worked out.
So wait, so you were disappointed at first, right? And then how did you feel once you got the news?
I was like, yeah. It was really cool and that was only like 2 years after I started playing chess. So I was like, yeah, all my hard work is like actually paying off.
Wow, that's so cool. What a fast time scale too, 2 years. And then what was your rating at that point?
It was close to 2000, I think. It was like 1950.
Yeah, that makes sense. From Southern California at the time, most of the players were around 2000 that were qualifying for the Denker.
Yeah. Nowadays it would be like a FM or an IM.
Yeah. Was a NM this year, but he was 2300 NM, so.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty strong. So then you got to go. Where was it? Where was the Denker held?
It was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Oh, that was the old capital of U.S. chess.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
No.
I know they had a lot of tournaments there.
No, I'm wrong. Scratch that for the record, everybody. Not capital. It was in Nashville or in Tennessee somewhere. But Cherry Hill, they've had a lot of tournaments. That's why it popped into my brain.
Yeah, they've had especially back then, they had I think they had back-to-back U.S. Opens or something.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Had you ever flown across the country at the time?
Just to see family, but.
Oh, you had. Okay, so you'd been in a plane and flown. Just curious.
Yeah, not by myself though. So
you went by yourself.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you?
I was 16.
Wow, you were 16 going by yourself. That's crazy. No coach?
I never really had a coach, actually.
Oh, wow, that's pretty interesting, too. Oh, Craig's got all the interesting stuff here. Wow. This is awesome. So you went by yourself. Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah. Well, I went with Randy Huff, who you probably know.
Oh, you went with Randy Huff?
Yeah.
A staple of Southern California. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was your chaperone.
He was my chaperone.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Randy was I believe Randy was a National Master as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a National Master. So, did you look at games with him at all, or?
No, he was playing in the U.S. Open, which
Oh, he was
goes
just
on
playing.
the
Okay.
same time.
Okay.
So he just like took me there, and then what was cool is I knew some of the other qualifiers,
Okay, right.
so I was basically just hanging out with them the entire time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. Were you able to find like a little community of friends through chess?
Yeah, from especially after that tournament, because before that I had my like Orange County group of chess friends.
Right.
But I was the best one in my group
Right.
at the time, at least. And then, but when I went there, it was kind of cool because it was like, wow, there's all my like, these are kids my age, probably had this similar interests. We're all like pretty good at chess, obviously,
Right.
since we qualified to play in this tournament. And yeah, it was just a fun. And I randomly got to play against Fabiano in a.
Oh, you played
casual-
Fabiano.
Yeah, he was like 8 years old.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. Oh wait.
How
It
strong
says
was he then?
He was 10 years old.
10. Okay. How strong was he then?
Yeah. I don't know what he was because we just played a blitz match.
Okay.
I think he saw that I was leading the Denker because I had 2 out of 2.
Oh, okay.
That was the last time I was doing good in the Denker. But so yeah, I started off with 2 out of 2. And then I think he saw that I was like top of the list, so he's like, "Hey, do you want to play a blitz match against me?"
Oh, that's really
like,
funny.
I was like, "All right, whatever."
Who won?
And I did, and he smoked me in the first game so badly.
Nice.
And then I got all these people like, because he looked like he was probably like 6 years old.
Right. He was
But he was
tiny.
actually 10. Yeah, he was tiny.
Yeah.
And then I'm tall, so it was like
Right.
I'm like 6'1", and I'm playing against a kid that was probably like 5 feet tall.
Oh, right. You were a basketball player, right? So.
Yeah. So that looked really weird.
Right.
And then, especially because he smashed me in that first game, and then I got a few in there.
That's super fun. You got some wins in though.
Yeah, I think I actually won more than he did, but
What?
I'm,
You outplayed Fabi, 10-year-old Fabi. That's amazing.
yeah, but he was only 10 years old.
People need to know. I mean, it's still pretty good to have a plus score in Blitz against Fabi.
Yeah, that was good. So after that first game, I was like, "What?" Because I thought it was just some like random kid
Yeah.
that I didn't know who Fabiano was back then.
Yeah.
And then after that first game, somebody was like, "Yeah, he gets coached by Bruce Pandolfini," and I was like, "Oh, okay, so this
Right.
kid's like really good."
Right. Oh, that's
I didn't think
fun.
he was gonna be this good, but I was like, "Yeah, he's gonna be like super strong, probably."
Yeah, and so then how did the Denker finish for you?
I think I got like 3.5 out of 6 or something.
That's still a decent score, though.
Yeah, so
Good score.
especially because I was pretty underrated back then.
Okay.
Or compared to the people I was playing.
Compared to the field, yeah.
Yeah.
Did that spur you on in your chess journey?
Yeah, so that, well, honestly, because I played in the U.S. Open also.
Uh,
And back then, the U.S. Open was like, I think it was 12 rounds.
yeah, it was really long.
And then the Denker is 6 rounds. So I played 18 games in
Oh my gosh.
like 12 days.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, and then I played that blitz match against Font. So I was just like, for 2 weeks straight, I was playing chess
Nice.
every day. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I need a break from playing chess. So,
Oh, so you took a break.
yeah, not for very long, but I
Okay.
like definitely needed,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't think I played the next month at the like weekly tournament or anything. So I was like, all right, I need a break for at least a month
Oh,
to like
interesting.
recharge. Yeah.
And then when did you know that you could become a master?
It's actually kind of funny. I gave up becoming or trying to become a master
Oh.
when
oh.
I became a master.
Tell us the progression.
Okay, so that Denker tournament happened 2 years after I started playing,
Yeah.
and then the next year I became an expert.
Right. Okay.
So I'm thinking this is going to be like super, like in a year I'll be a master or something, right?
Right.
If I keep on going, but at the same rate. And it definitely did it. Well, for one thing, I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And I was on to college. And then I quickly found out you can't study chess as much as I was and do well in college.
Right.
So I had to like kind of put it on the back burner back then.
Right.
Well, the first year I did it, I kept on just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my bad grades were distracting my chess also. So I was like,
sure.
All right, I gotta concentrate on school. And then, so then it was like, okay, I'm not going to become a master while I'm going to school, it seems like. Until my friends started playing in the amateur Team West.
Okay.
Where you're on a team of 4 people.
Right.
And then you play other teams of 4 people. And that was basically the only tournament I was playing in every year. Because just to play with my friends, and it was like, okay, this is like my one break.
Wait, what kind of work did you do after college?
Oh, after college, I worked at a bank.
Oh, so you're just working at a bank and then playing chess occasionally.
Yeah. Well, I was still going to college. Actually, at this point, I was going to college and working at the bank.
Oh, okay.
At the same time. And trying to study enough chess to at least play in that one tournament.
Did you go for a master's?
No,
or just
I didn't go. Just undergrad, yeah.
Okay. So you're playing the one tournament.
A year.
So you're clearly like prioritized college. When did you refocus and get serious again?
So while I was my senior year of college, I actually did so well at one of those amateur Team West.
Oh.
That I got my NM title.
What? You just randomly got your NM title at the
because
amateur West?
But it took me like 4 years. So like when I became an expert, it took me 4 years to get my NM title, which makes sense because I was only playing in one tournament a year.
Right.
But what I think happened was I was putting tons and tons of pressure on myself. To become a master.
Right.
Before I decided to like concentrate on school. And then after that, I wasn't really studying that much because I didn't have time. So I had no pressure on myself. So I was just like, yeah, I'm playing with my friends. If I do badly, that kind of makes sense. So whatever.
So you must have already had the foundation, though, of skill to become a master. You just hadn't played the number of tournaments necessary to become a master. Is that fair?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I feel like if I started earlier, like, what if I started playing in tournaments at like 8 years old?
Yeah.
Instead of 15,
right?
Then I probably would have become a master.
Have you seen the number of tournaments that kids play these days?
It's have you looked actually at I used to play
charts.
A lot. It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
like 50 tournaments a year.
A year, yeah, like 50. That's insane. That's like almost like 300 games, 250 to 300 games.
I know, it's so much. But it's good. You gotta have. I mean, you have to play to get better.
Yeah. So that's super interesting.
That is one thing I try to teach my students is the only way I was able to become an NM was to stop, like, living and dying with every game. Because if you do that, then you won't be able to, like, play the move. You'll just be so worried about losing that you won't be able to play the moves that win, you know?
Or draw, right?
Or draw from,
Yeah. Wow, so. That's interesting. Okay. I wanted to hear one more thing about this Amateur West. What did you score?
It was 5.5 out of 6.
Okay. So you had a seriously great score. Did you beat any titled players?
I did, actually. So, yeah, I got really lucky. That was the other thing was I got really lucky in this tournament. Well, one, I played somebody that I have a really good record against.
Oh, okay.
And then they didn't know that I wasn't studying. So like, even though they're a strong player, I have this like crazy good record against them. So they're like, I don't know, they kind of like lost before the game started.
Oh wow! Like
They're just
psychologically.
like psychologically, like, oh no, I'm playing Craig, I'm gonna lose.
Oh
Like, that
no,
kind of thing.
that's hilarious. Oh, it's pretty
And
funny.
that wasn't even. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not that good anymore, but okay.
That's funny.
And then the biggest one though was, it was the second to last round. I was playing this FM, and I knew if I won, I probably had a shot at passing 2200.
Yeah.
And he's just started crushing me. I was playing the black side of the dragon back
Right.
then, without studying. Great strategy.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So yeah, of course he started crushing me, and then just out of the blue, he put his rook on pre to my dragon bishop.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't guarded by anything. I was just like, took the rook, and then he immediately resigned, even though I think he was like up 2 pawns at the time for not very much. And then
And you
yeah,
just blundered the rook. Wow.
blundered the rook, and then that was the. Then it was like almost positive that I was going to be a master.
Yeah.
Except the last round, I played. For some reason, we played a team that was low rated. So it turned out if I drew or lost the last round, I was not going to become a master anymore.
Wow.
But I had to play it because I was like, I couldn't let down my teammates.
Right.
Because
Of
we're on a
course.
team. So I was like, man, I wish I could just like withdraw from the tournament and become a master, but I have to beat this guy. And so yeah.
Wow.
I think we played some like 60 move game where I declined like a bunch of draws to win that one.
Oh, that's fun. All right. So then, yeah, you became a master then. When did you start coaching?
I started
I'm
coaching.
sorry, you were coaching at 16, so you coached the whole
Yeah.
time. Were you coaching that whole time, or did you take time off from coaching for school and all that?
No, that was the one thing that I was doing with school too.
Okay, so you were still coaching. Okay, so you basically
Yeah.
had that as like either a side hustle and then it became a business, right?
Yeah.
And now
exactly.
it's your primary business, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's incredible. When did you realize that you could actually, make a living from it, from coaching?
From coaching, probably. Well, there's 2 times. One was when I started teaching at this company that used to be called Academic Chess,
Okay, yeah.
and
They were very big in
I
Southern
think-
California.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're called Strategic Kids.
Okay.
So I worked my way up through that company and got a full-time position there.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
And yeah, so that was really cool. And that's actually where I became a actually good coach. Before then,
right.
the other chess company didn't really like teach me how to make lessons or do
Right.
anything. They were just like, hey, teach these kids.
Yeah,
like,
you're also
okay.
super young. It's not like you were gonna. I mean, I guess if you had curriculum, it would have been better.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much no matter what. And I don't think you can really be that great of a teacher until you're like 25.
Yeah, right.
felt-
You have to kind of understand how to manage and talk to kids and things, right?
Yeah. And then when I was like 16, I'm like barely older than them.
Right.
So
That's good comedy there. I don't like
like
that.
a few of the kids were only 6 years younger than me, and I'm supposed to like command their respect and stuff.
Oh, that's super funny.
So-
And then when did you go out on your own?
Actually, during the pandemic, that's when I owe a lot of my students actually to Anya Taylor-Joy, probably from Queen's Gambit.
Oh, from Anna Taylor-Joy. She's the actor in Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
She's the main actor. And, okay, that's pretty funny.
Like she immediately tripled my online students.
Wow.
From-
Immediately tripled your online students. So wait, were people just coming to you like, I watched Queen's Gambit and I want to play chess, or what?
Yeah, like all these people were. I think I had like. Well, I was working full time, so I couldn't take as many students.
Right.
But then once that show came out, all these people were like, "Hey, I saw Queen's Gambit. I want to start playing some chess."
How did they find you?
It looked really cool. I was on chess.com like for 60 hours a week during the pandemic. Working for academic chess. Yeah.
Wait, so they had a partnership with chess.com? You were teaching on there?
We kind of just used chess.com as our...
just using chess.com. So they found your profile, I'm guessing, on chess.com.
Yeah. So I was one of the coaches, and then I think your name like goes up to the top of the list if you're online.
Oh, right. That's really interesting. So then, wow. So through chess.com, you got all these students. That's incredible. Yeah. And then, how did you transition? How did you like manage transitioning into becoming your own boss, basically?
Yeah, I had all these students, and at first I tried to fit them into my schedule with strategic kids, but I was like, it became too much at a certain point.
Yeah. If you're teaching that many hours, you said how many hours? 60?
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Especially at first.
Oh my gosh, you're a workaholic, Craig.
Yeah. It was getting pretty bad.
You love chess too much. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I mean, it's amazing you're giving back like that. I mean, you're giving back to the community, and it takes a lot from your own chess to be coaching like this. And okay, so you transitioned to your own business. So then, how did you manage that, and how's it going currently?
Currently, it's better. It's calmed down. I still work a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I work for a bunch of different companies, which is kind of cool because I get to see like what some companies do well and maybe what other ones do better than the other ones. And
are you able to share which companies you're working for, or is that?
Yeah, so I still work for Strategic Kids part-time.
Okay.
And then I work for the Fountain Valley Chess Club.
Okay.
They're like a new program.
Cool.
In the Orange County area.
Awesome.
And I work for Pixicle.
Well, what's that?
They are an online. They actually started like teaching educational programs online.
Interesting.
And then, I think a year after the pandemic, they started teaching chess online.
Okay.
And then, one of my friends was a recruiter for them.
Okay. Wow.
A National Master Laura Smith.
Okay.
And she told me about it, and she would be like, yeah, you'd be so good because, I mean, you're basically already doing that for your company right now, so why not have them?
Are you a chess entrepreneur?
Something like that. I don't know.
You're working with all these companies, you have all these partnerships, and you're working with them and teaching all these kids. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I really like the teamwork. I think that's something that gets lost with a lot of chess players is because in chess it's very, singular.
Yeah.
Very zero-sum game.
Right.
Like when you play somebody, you are out. You're trying to beat them, right?
Right.
But in sports, that's something I definitely learned was, I mean, usually my sports we were on teams.
Team sports, yeah.
Yeah, so you were only as good as your weakest link a lot of the times.
Right.
So
everybody would work hard together to improve together, right?
It's a more collaborative thing.
Well, I think
I've always liked it.
The collaborative element is a big part of the chess world, right?
Yeah, now it is more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of solo
when I started,
work.
It was very...
There's a lot of solo work, right? But
there's a lot of solo work.
But I think a lot of people still have a community where they're interacting and saying, "Oh, I'm playing this opening. Or look at this end game and look at this maybe this tactic, things like that." Where we're sharing the information, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not like Hikaru is like giving away his opening secrets that he's going to use in the World Cup and stuff.
Yeah, well, okay, we can talk about that. It's kind of interesting. The top level, there seems to be two types of players. One is the lone wolf like that trains only by themselves. Wesley So, Hikaru, especially for Americans, those two are super lone wolf. Like they don't train with anybody. But then there's quite a few other really strong players like Fabi. Fabi has a team of people. Like Shankland, I know he trains with a lot of people. Even though he's kind of in the middle. There's quite a few examples of players that have like a full team that are working together to get better. So you would consider yourself more of like a team type player?
Yeah, just because that's how I originally came up to. Was I always had this like group of friends that we all helped each other out get better.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird though, because we would be helping each other out, but then we would be playing each other.
Right.
On that Thursday night, but it was still kind of cool because we could, like, because we were friends, it was okay.
Right.
If one of us beat the other.
Okay, so I want to wrap up soon because I got to get going here, but I want to ask. Did you ever expect yourself to become a chess professional?
I did not. Yeah, for sure, did not. Especially, well, okay. So at first, yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
But then once it became so hard to become a national master, then I was like.
Right.
Like I said, I had quit even trying to become a national master, actually.
Right.
At that point, I was just, like, playing for fun with my friends. And I totally thought I was going to do something in finance, which is what my undergrad is in.
Right. Do you use any of those skills, though, in managing your business? Crossover?
Not really.
Oh, no. Because
a little bit, but...
It's undergrad, yeah.
Yeah, not too much, to be honest.
That's kind of a funny story there. Like, I'm very dissimilar. I have a degree in biology, but I don't use that at all.
Yeah, see?
Because it's really... I mean, I guess it would be really hard to predict the chess boom.
Oh, yeah, that was impossible to see.
And how...
all those things happening.
What are your opinions about the chess boom? Do you see it continuing into the future?
I think so, just because so many people have already got the chess bug, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing is like the streamers like Elena and Hikaru and stuff.
Yeah.
Are sharing it with more and more people.
True.
That was the thing when I started. It was very like I said, I kept it from my friends first of all.
Right.
And then there was like nobody talking about chess back then. Right. But nowadays it's like everyone, like even people that don't even know how to play chess are like, hey, I saw this thing on whatever Wall Street Journal.
Right.
About that was about Hans Niemann.
Right. But, yeah. I mean, even the scandals propel the image of chess.
Yeah. Exactly.
or keep it in the cultural zeitgeist. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to wrap up, but we could keep talking forever, Craig. Very interesting story. Thank you for joining me and sharing your story of your chess journey, your secret chess journey.
Exactly. Yeah. Just give up, and then you'll become a national master.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And any last words for chess enthusiasts or even anybody looking to reach the national master level?
Well, yeah. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and also, even if you can just study or do something related to chess, like only 20 minutes a day.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, you won't see it happening, but one day it's just gonna go bam, and you're gonna like get so much more things than you thought you were learning during that process. But it has to stay consistent.
That's pretty wise. It will click at some point. You just need to stay consistent. Yeah. Awesome, Craig. Thank you for joining me. And good luck in your business and your your love of chess, keep playing those amateur tournaments.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that up.
All right, thanks again, Craig.
All right, thanks for having me, Dylan.
All right.